Bring down.
Welcome back everybody to a brand new video in my gun review series. Today's gun review is going to be covering the new assault rifle, the AS-VAL. When this gun was initially released, it was extremely overpowered. One of the ammo attachments, which we will go over later, was extremely broken and allowed for you to be able to shoot through any wall, and the bullets essentially would travel through the entire map. Since the update and the obvious nerf of this attachment, the AS-VAL had to find its new niche in this game. Luckily, this assault rifle that acts like an SMG is still very strong, accurate, and definitely has its spot in the game. It has its drawbacks though, so we'll be going over all its pros and cons in this video. This is the current class that I'm using for this weapon. In my opinion, the two most essential attachments for this weapon are the 30 round mags and the VLK 200mm OSA barrel. The barrel adds a 26% increase in range, which is necessary in order to win those medium to long distance range gunfights. And considering the rate of fire for this gun is so high, having the 30 round mag instead of the base 20 round mag is a must in order to kill multiple enemies before you have to reload. The base stats for the AS-VAL are as follows. The ADS speed is 225 milliseconds, the fire rate is 885 RPM. In comparison, the MP5 has a 797.5 RPM, so you can see why I say that this gun acts more like an SMG than an assault rifle. It also has a 2.18 second reload speed and a 4.69 meters per second movement speed. The base damage values are as follows. The head, 47 damage, chest, 37, stomach, 30, and the extremities, also 30. With this current class setup, the stats for this weapon are a slight increase in ADS speed at 230 milliseconds. However, there is a significant reduction in sprint to fire speed from 392 milliseconds to 321 milliseconds. There is also a reduction by 17% in vertical recoil due to the Merc foregrip and an increase in bullet velocity from 333 milliseconds to 430 milliseconds due to the OSA barrel. Anyways, time to get into the subjective part of my review and my opinions on this weapon, on its pros and cons. I hope you enjoy. I am the type of person that likes to see the cons first, so we're going to go over those first. The absolute biggest knock on this weapon, and I really don't find this arguable, is the ammo size. The base magazine is only 20 rounds, and with its extremely high rate of fire, sometimes you may only get to kill 2 enemies before having to reload. So if you're in a situation where you need to kill 3+ enemies in the same clip, it can feel almost impossible unless you simply don't miss any shots, which, let's be honest, is very unrealistic. You're going to miss some shots. Surprisingly though, this gun with this class setup doesn't have that much recoil in my opinion. It has almost zero horizontal recoil, and with the Merc foregrip attached, it reduces the vertical recoil significantly, so it is easier for you to hit your shots. A slight buff or an idea that I feel would make this gun even more fun and usable would be a 4th ammo attachment. That's maybe a 40 round mag and does slightly less damage in order to balance the gun out. Also, you could, if you wanted to, run sleight of hand on this gun in order to get that reload speed even faster than it already is. As I mentioned earlier, it's already faster than the MP5. However, you run out so fast that having sleight of hand may be worth trying out if you want to. In order to not, feel crippled when you're fighting multiple enemies in a row. In my honest opinion, the gun is kind of difficult to use at longer distances of over maybe 100 meters. which makes sense considering this assault rifle is built more like an SMG. So with that being said, make sure to be careful on what maps or playstyle you intend on using this weapon for. For example, I personally wouldn't run this weapon on R5P, but would love to run it on Shoot House or Maza. The SPP 10-round mags, which is the single-fire ammo attachment that has the very high wall penetration, may have been the more AR equivalent version of the gun that they were going for. However, due to its limited ammo capacity, 10 rounds, and with the recent nerf of dramatically reducing its capability to kill people through walls, it's simply not worth using. Maybe, in order to make this gun more viable, they could boost this magazine size to 15 or 20 because after the nerf in core game modes, it can still take up to 3 to 5 rounds through a wall to kill an enemy. At that point, you are better off just using the PKM or the CR AMAX with FMJ on, as it has a higher magazine capacity and deals relatively the same amount of damage through walls as the AS-VAL does. Alright, so let's talk briefly about the pros of this weapon. So, right off the bat, I feel the biggest two advantages that this gun exemplifies is how strong it is and its rate of fire. As I mentioned before, the rate of fire is about 885 rounds per minute, with an average shot at 30 to 37 damage depending if you hit them in the stomach, the chest, or the extremities. With that being said, it's almost always a 3-shot kill, and its high rate of fire makes this weapon a force at close range. I do want to mention that the damage drop off for this gun starts at anything over 32 meters. However, even at over 32 meters, the damage values for the head, chest, stomach, and extremities are as follows: 36, 28, 23, and 23. So even after damage drop off, this gun is still a 4 to 5 shot weapon, which is extremely good. A small note, as you may have noticed in the clips in the background, if you were able to get the first shot off with this weapon and hit your shots, you're most likely going to win the gunfight. The trick is to be more thoughtful in your positioning, so when you're engaging in a gunfight, you don't end up fighting 3+ individuals at once. The reload time is a big bonus for me. At the base speed of 2.18 seconds, it provides, in my opinion, a quick enough reload speed where you don't need to equip sleight of hand. However, if you are curious, the reload speed with sleight of hand equipped is 1.4 seconds, which is significantly better, but I will leave that up to y'all to determine if it's worth swapping out another attachment for. If you do swap it out, let me know in the comments below how it worked for you. I've mentioned it a few times, but it's important to stress. This gun plays like an SMG, it feels like an SMG, and you move like you're using an SMG. However, it's an assault rifle, so it does have slower strafe speeds, and it also has slower ADS movement speeds. However, the base movement speed in comparison to the MP5 is 4.69 meters per second to the MP5's 4.854 meters per second. The fact that this assault rifle is faster than the MP5 at base levels is kind of insane if you think about it. The last pro I want to mention are the iron sights. If you know me, then you know that I hate having to waste an attachment for an optic. My favorite weapons are guns with amazingly clear and unobstructed iron sights like the CR AMAX. The AS-VAL has very subtle yet clean iron sights, and it leads to the gun being very accurate in my opinion. So with everything being said, this gun is very good. At close to medium ranges, it competes, if not just straight dominates, any assault rifle or SMG. Its biggest drawbacks are at higher ranges and the ammo capacities. However, if I'm being honest with myself, they don't really hurt my gameplays, as I'm able to adapt a slightly different playstyle to compensate for these minor disadvantages. With only a couple weeks left until Cold War, this gun will most likely not be nerfed again, and it will remain heavily used in the current meta of the game. It's extremely good in search and destroy and other modes like hardpoint and domination, so everyone's using it. It also can be unlocked for free in the battle pass at tier 31 and has a max weapon level of 53. So make sure to try this gun out and use this class sub I provided in the beginning of the video. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything at any point, please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Also, please leave a comment below on any constructive criticisms you may have or suggestions for future videos. Peace out.